The number one reason first breath moms and probably most people say they smoke is stress. What are some strategies that they could use to reduce stress without smoking?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. That's across the board. The first breath moms maybe have more than their fair share of stress, but nevertheless, and that's something where when we're working with people, it gives us a real opportunity to empathize with them, to acknowledge that everybody has stress, everyone has to cope with that, and then what you want to do is to sort of pivot on that a little bit, acknowledging that that's something in common, and get them to think about when it was that they started smoking, because for almost everybody it's when they were a teenager, some cases even younger than that, but let's just say it's teens. And other than driving your parents crazy, one of the job descriptions of a teenager is you're sort of figuring out how you take care of yourself in life. So these people were learning how to take care of themselves emotionally at the same time cigarettes became available to them. And so that's been their go-to, sometimes for decades. And it makes sense. I mean, it's right there. It's available 24/7. As long as you can afford to buy them, it's there for you. So in a lot of cases, they don't learn the same ways to cope with stress, to cope with negative feelings that people who have never smoked do. So that's what I would use as a starting point with them, and then ask, think about the people in your life who don't smoke, because maybe more so than you as the person that's helping them, they're going to realize those are the people that they have a lot in common with. What do they do when they feel stressed or sad or anxious? Stress is kind of a catch-all for a lot of those negative feelings. So I would really give it to them first and ask, okay, what do the people in your life who don't smoke do to cope with the stress that they encounter? And if they think about it for a little bit, they're probably going to be able to come up with several strategies. One that I like to recommend to a lot of people, especially because stress and anxiety seem to go along so well, and ask them for a moment to think about when they feel anxious, when they feel stressed, what happens to their breathing. Yeah, it's very reliable. People start to breathe shallowly, they breathe more rapidly, and that actually can increase the sense of anxiety and panic. So by learning how to do deep breathing in a very simple manner, they slow down their breathing, which means they get more oxygen in, they get rid of more carbon dioxide, and it slows down our heart rate, because the two things are in sync. You really can't will yourself to have your heartbeat slower, but if you slow down your breathing, it happens automatically. Plus, it's giving them something very neutral to focus on. If you just focus, okay, now I'm breathing in slowly, now I'm holding my breath, now I'm exhaling, and it keeps some of the thoughts that can amp up the feelings of stress from running away. So start with what's in their life, and then as a backup, definitely get them to focus on doing a little calming, deep breathing.
And breathing is free.
It is indeed.